Hey, and welcome back to another video from my eBay parts or repair playlist, the playlist of videos where I go on eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, and Facebook Marketplace and purchase broken electronic items and try and fix them on camera. What we have here today is the pretty rare Nokia N71. Now, the N71 was a phone that was released in 2006, and as you can see, it's a pretty beefy flip phone. It is one of Nokia's few clamshell phones that they did in the N series. Nokia was not known for clamshell phones. They did bars and sliders better. The star of clamshell or flip phones was Motorola. For example, let me get the Motorola Razr from 2004 here. Now the Razr, as you can see, is the entire Razr is almost the size, well, it is the size of the bottom half of the Nokia there, and it's an older phone, so yeah, Motorola did a much better design job with the Razr there. But nevertheless, this phone is a really feature-packed phone. It clearly has more features than the Razr. It is just loaded with features. Of course, from an N-series phone, that's what you have to expect. I got this one for the price on screen here, so it's about $28, and it came from Albania with free shipping, so it took a while. Was it Albania? I think it was Albania. I forgot. Definitely Eastern Europe. It works, so let's power it on. But the only issue is its main camera here is broken. It does not engage in the software, and I'll show you in a bit. This phone is loaded with strange features. I'll show you the battery bay as well. It's really weird. It has this multimedia mode. When you press this button, it goes into this strange multimedia mode. It has a ratcheted flip mechanism. Let me show you. One lock, second lock. Let me do that again. So it is a ratcheted flip mechanism, which is quite interesting. And this phone is pretty rare. I've never seen a lot of these for sale at one given time on eBay. There are, of course, refurbs from China, but those don't count. Those are just crappy refurbs. This one, of course, it has been used and it has wear and tear, so it's definitely not a refurb. I'd take some wear and tear over a refurb any day. I've mentioned that in my previous videos as well, so that's not something you haven't heard before. Okay, so let's go into the camera in this thing, and memory card not available. As you can see, the main camera does not engage, but I can show you that the front camera there, the front camera engages perfectly, as you can see there. So we're using the front camera now. That's my glove. So the front camera, the VGA front camera over there, works just fine. It's the 2 megapixel main camera that's actually acting up, and I'm pretty sure just cleaning out the connector or something like that will get it working again, or just lifting it out and putting it back together. It may have already disconnected by itself after a drop or something, so that may be also an issue. So we'll definitely look into that. Let me power this thing off. So, like I was saying earlier, this thing is loaded with weird features. Another weird feature is the battery bay. Now, I had about 15 minutes of trying to figure out how to open this thing. You don't pull it like that, actually. You pull it like this. That's how you open the battery bay. And you have to load the battery onto the back cover like that. I've never seen this in a lot of Nokia phones. I think I've seen it in one phone, but it's very rare. Nokia usually doesn't do this. You have to load the battery onto the back cover. And this is my battery. This didn't come with a battery because it was free shipping, and the seller probably didn't want to send a battery because you have to pay extra when you're sending batteries in the post. So that's a good thing. But anyway, you have to load the battery onto the back cover like that. So that was a bit surprising. It also has an infrared port, as you can see there. Proprietary port there. It has the slimmer style barrel charger as well. Power button is up on the main top part here. Pretty thick phone. Anyway, now we're gonna take this top half off, and luckily we don't have to take apart the whole phone, and we're gonna repair this thing, try and fix this camera. But as usual, before jumping right in, don't forget to smash that like button down below, as it helps this video get on YouTube's algorithm. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification button to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the Nokia N71. Did you have one of these at some point? Do you still have one? Are you a collector? Do you have one of these in your collection? Just let me know what you think about the Nokia N71 down below, and definitely stay tuned for the upcoming full retro style review video on the Nokia N71 that I'll be doing in a few weeks as well. So definitely hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification button and stay tuned for that video. Also, check out my social media down in the description below, which includes Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. And now let's jump right into this repair video. So as usual with all my repair videos, if you are a regular viewer on this channel, you know that I skip the disassemblies and all the more basic parts, and I focus on the actual repair itself. So we'll be fast forwarding the disassembly to a certain extent here. And also I've been a bit sick the past few days, so I haven't uploaded quite as often as I wanted to, but we'll definitely be getting back to schedule once my throat clears up. As you can see, I don't sound the same as I usually do. But yeah, let's take this thing apart and try and get this thing fixed. Okay, so we have the upper LCD disassembled there, and there's a button here if you wanted to know what that is. That is, I think, used for dismissing calls and switching between things you want to see on this screen here, whether it's the time, the missed calls, or whatever. You can modify those in settings, but that's what that button is there for. So let's continue by lifting this up slightly. I'm pretty sure this thing will work without the main board will work without this board. So I'm thinking of powering this thing on without this board. So the camera, like I thought, has not detached. Let's have a closer look at that camera. It looks okay from the outside. Let's detach it like this. Okay, let's leave that to a side. Pretty beefy 2 megapixel camera there. Ribbon looks fine. Come on, focus. Ribbon looks fine. Connector looks fine. Why doesn't it detect it? That's the real question. Let me have a closer look at this off camera and be right back. So the fix may be as something as simple as just putting it back to its slot like that and powering the thing on. Sometimes just resetting the thing like that helps it kind of reinitialize, or whatever you want to call it. So let's partially put this thing back together and see if we can turn this thing on. Now this goes on this side. This thing needs a bit of cleaning as well. It's got this pinhole like thing you have to engage on. There you go. That falls in place like that. Don't want to be breaking parts here. Have to be very careful. There are barely any N71s for sale, let alone parts for the thing. So yeah, let me try and get that camera in place. Let me bring this closer, do it off camera. Do not want to mess this up. Okay, so putting that back together was a bit tricky. You actually have to put the camera first and then put the board on top and then press it down, then it automatically locks in place. So we don't really need the upper display here. It'll perfectly work fine without that. Let me put these connectors back together. We'll try powering this thing on, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have the phone powered on here, and as you can see, the top is still disassembled, and it works just fine without the top LCD. And it kind of reminds me of that lady, or was it a guy? I forgot. Either way, who had a open brain surgery while fully conscious, and she was also playing the violin. Here's the article. I think I'll be able to find it. Here's the article. So she was perfectly conscious and playing the violin while getting her brain worked on by some doctor. So this kind of reminds me of that. It's perfectly working, but the top half is open. But yeah, let's see if this camera works now. So camera, memory card not accessible. Okay, still nothing from the main camera. Let's see secondary cam. Let's try switching. Okay, so secondary cam works just fine. Okay, it's freaking out a bit because of course the The connectors are exposed. That's fine. Use main camera. Okay, the app is freaking out. So yeah, it's not working entirely. But yeah, the back camera still doesn't engage. So I'll have to have a closer look at that. So seems like we're gonna have to go a bit deeper on this one, and luckily it seems like the camera comes apart pretty easily, so we can lift that like that, lift that like that. These pins fold back in, like bend back in place pretty easily. So kind of reminds me of the N8's camera, because the N8 also had a camera module that came apart like this. I think, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've taken apart an N8. So yeah, okay, that comes apart nicely, so we can see exactly what's up with this thing. Okay, so that's the sort of the contacts there, so they seem fine. Could it be the sensor? Do I want to go that far? Well, hey, it's broken, so why not? So let's lift that up. Did the lens come out? No. Okay, so we can't really take apart the... Well, we can. I see a way to take apart the whole thing, but we don't want the lens and stuff to start falling apart. So what I'll do is I'll try and clean this out with some alcohol, very lightly, because we don't want alcohol creeping into the camera, and we'll see whether that fixes it. Alright, we have some alcohol here on this Q-tip, and let's just clean this lightly. We're not going to drench this like I said, because that will definitely screw with the camera. We can drench this part, I guess, but nah, it might damage the sponge-like thing there as well. So that's a Foxconn part, as you can see there. It says Foxconn. Alright, so we'll let that dry, and we'll get back to seeing if it works. Okay, so we have the camera put together here. I had to do that off camera because it's really hard to get it aligned and stuff. So let's put this thing back together and we'll see how it goes. So I won't repeat it again. Let's just do it again. Just put it back together, and I'll turn the phone on and we'll see what happens. Alright, so taking apart the camera and putting it back together after cleaning it with rubbing alcohol, that didn't work either. So the last option we're going to try here is heating the board and the camera up and try. I mean, I'm not saying that this is a 100% perfect method, but heating boards up in the past has worked for me sometimes. So we're definitely gonna go ahead and try heating the board up with a heat gun. We'll see what happens. Now, it may be a board issue with some of the resistors or whatever. I did some continuity checks with my multimeter there, and it checks out for continuity. There aren't any shorts. From what I can tell, there's no shorting out anywhere. However, I could have missed something, or I just don't have the proper tools to diagnose a board level issue. I don't have a microscope. I don't have most sensitive multimeters. I don't have a lot of things, so I really cannot fix board level issues, but in the future I'm looking into getting into that as well. So I still have to get the equipment for that, a proper reflow station, a microscope, etc, etc. But until then, we'll just try and heat this thing up and we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's go ahead. Alright, so we'll let it cool down and we'll put the phone back together. If this doesn't change anything, then we're just gonna give up on this and just keep the phone as it is. So let's jump to when I have started to put this thing back together. Alrighty, so these things have cooled down. Let's put it back together, and if that doesn't work, hey, what are we to do? But yeah, let's go ahead and put this thing back together. So yeah, after putting this thing back together, the issue still persists. The front camera still works just fine, as you can see here, but the rear camera still does not work. I guess there's some things that I just can't fix without the proper tools, or it's just the camera is broken and it needs to be replaced. I could still take apart the camera, go and look at the lens and all the inner electronics, but I'm definitely gonna break it permanently if that's the case, because the lenses and stuff are all gonna fall out, the sensor is gonna fall out, everything's gonna fall out. So it's kind of pointless going that far. If you open that, you're 100% sure to damage the camera and you can't really put it back together anyway. So I guess this phone will just have to be without its camera. So that is actually going to be a problem for the full retro style review, because I do a camera review portion as well, but I guess we'll have to do without the camera section. Maybe in the future I might get a replacement camera for this, but like I said, the phone itself is extremely rare, so getting the camera part itself is going to be even more rare. Even more harder. Usually when you Google something for Nokia N71, you always get search results for the E71, because the E71 was a way more popular phone and a newer phone. You barely get any search results for the N71. It's that much of a rare phone. There are just a few web searches for the N71. There are just a few YouTube videos as well, and I hope to, in my full retro style review, I hope to bring more light to this old phone, because a lot of people really don't know much about this phone. This wasn't really the most popular phone at the time, and is easily one of the more rarer Nokia phones out there. Definitely a great part of my collection. But yeah, kind of a bummer we couldn't fix the camera, but hey, we can't fix everything every time. I guess that's just how it is. Like I said, it's pointless breaking the camera into multiple pieces. That's not gonna fix it. I'm pretty sure it's not the board that's the issue. I had a closer look at the board. All the resistors check out fine for continuity, so the resistors aren't fried. Everything is in perfect condition on the upper board. The ribbons look good, everything looks good. So it definitely is the camera module itself, so that thing is fried. There's no way to get replacements. It is what it is. But yeah, as usual, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you honestly did, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up on the like button down below, and hit that subscribe button as well, and ring that bell notification button to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Leave a comment, let me know down below what you think about the Nokia N71. Did you own one at a certain point, or whatever you want to let me know about the Nokia N71. Leave a comment down below. Check out my social media down below in the description, which includes Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.